Hello, welcome in. It's Shaped by Kate. Today we are going to continue our 30-day yoga challenge. Today we are going to be working on our yoga binds. And we're going to work through the most common yoga binds that you'll probably find in any yoga class. And we're not going to be using any props today just because we are doing yoga from home, or maybe you're traveling. If you really do want a prop, you can grab a towel for your binds. I personally like to do the binds without any straps or towels, just because sometimes we kind of use those as a crutch, whereas I really want you to be thinking about kind of hugging the shoulders and the shoulder blades down so they're parallel to each other. If you are kind of a little bit more advanced, you kind of know how to use the straps, or you really just like to have that hand to a strap or towel connection, then bring them in. Now let's get started in our first yoga bind. Go ahead and find a comfortable seated position, and let's just find a twist. So we're going to inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, twist to one direction. Bring your hand to the opposite edge of your thigh. Inhale to exhale, bring your gaze over your shoulder. Inhale to unwind, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale to twist. Second exhale, look over your shoulder. Good. Finding a little bit quicker of a pace. Inhale to center, exhale to twist. Inhale to center, exhale to twist. One more on each side. Good. Come to center, and then let's come into our tabletop pose. Continue warming up your spine. Find your cat-cows. Now we've done cat-cows a lot this month, so let's maybe add a variation to it. When you find your cat pose, bring awareness to the crown of your head and your tailbone. Then you're going to draw circles going the same direction. So I'm going to start counterclockwise. Draw a circle with both the top of my head and my tailbone. When you point those 2 points down to the earth, you're rounding the spine and bringing them to the right. Again, next time you find cow, go ahead and switch directions. This option is definitely for those who maybe don't get dizzy. If you tend to get dizzy, this head turn can kind of make you feel a little bit wobbly. All right, come to center. And then let's find a downward facing dog. Lengthen the legs, pedal out the heels. And then let's look to the top of our mat. Walk to our forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Let's find our malasana. Heel toe the feet to the outer edges of your mat. Toes out, heels in. Sit the hips down. Press the elbows to the knees. From here, we're going to find our twist. So sometimes when we twist, our shoulders are too high. So we're going to kind of round the spine and walk our hands forward. So rather than our elbows being supported by our knees, our shoulders are going to be hugging against our knees. Good. Inhale to open up the chest. Bring your right palm to your knee. Look to the sky. Feel a nice lift, almost like you're stacking the shoulder blades. Then exhale to center. Inhale to the other side. Good. Come back to center. Hands come to your heart. We're going to exhale to rise. Press into the earth. Reach for the sky. You're going to find a back bend with those toes open. Good. Find a neutral stance. Heel toe your feet to your normal mountain pose. Exhale, swan dive down. Plant your hands. Step into your plank. Set your knees down on the earth. Uncurl the toes. Since we're not going to be doing a lot on our hands, we're going to add in our chaturanga push-ups. So you're going to exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. And then rise, come back up into your plank. Good. On your toes or on your knees. Let's do 2 more. Exhale. Come to plank. Inhale to prepare. 1 more. Exhale. Good. This time, just go ahead and lower to the belly. Inhale, open up into your cobra. And then meet me in downward facing dog. Good. Set the knees on the earth. Find tabletop. We're going to find cow facing arms and legs. So the arms are a little bit easier. The legs may be a little bit more difficult. We're going to extend the right leg back. And then you're going to bend the knee and tuck it in between your thumbs. And that top of the foot can come down onto the ground. You're just going to then hook it around the left knee. Good. And then to find space for your glutes, you're just going to turn the tops of your feet to the edges of your mat. Walk your hands back, and you're going to sit your hips down behind you. Now, if that feels like you're going to maybe put way too much pressure on your knee joint, rather than doing kind of that fancy transition, you can just come to a seated pose. Bend your left leg, shift your weight to the left, and tuck your heel towards your glute. Sit up nice and tall, bend your right leg, and then stack that leg over it. So kind of like your Lord of the Fishes pose, but instead your heels are going to be kind of right next to the top of your thigh or your hips. And again, it's okay if maybe your right hip is kind of floating off of the earth. Good. Cow facing legs. Flex your feet and sort of hug your legs in to feel nice and supported. And then we're going to find our cow facing arms. So I'm going to face the back of my mat so you can see my arms. We're going to just turn that right palm away from our body. So flip it behind you, bend the elbow, and you're going to kind of walk or creep that back hand up your spine as if you're trying to scratch your back. Good. Then press your back hand into your back. So that's kind of your strap, is that pressing motion, back hand to back. Good. Inhale, left arm reaches to the sky. And you're kind of turning the palm towards your ear or the side of your head. Bend the elbow and then reach down your spine. You can crawl those fingers down your back. Good. And maybe your fingers touch. Or maybe there's that space in between. Ideally, if your hands clasp together, that's kind of just a fancy pose. A good indicator of your upper spine flexibility is if that space in between your fingers is about a palm's length. So about that long. Good. Elbows are reaching tall and long. Good. Then carefully unwind. And let's just reach our right arm in front, hug it into our chest, just a counter pose. Good. All right, you can release those arms. Now, since our hips are down, it might be easier for you to shift into that tabletop pose. So you can walk your hands forward, come onto your shins, and unwind that right leg, reach it behind you, shake out the ankle, and set it back down. Good. Sway the hips from left to right if you need. And then extend the toes long. Let's find our plank pose. Maybe you find your modified plank. Let's find those 3 push-ups. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale to prepare. Long exhale, lower and lift. Good. Remember, modification, you can bend halfway if you need. Good. 1 more. Good. 4th time lowering, you can just lower to the earth. Find a cobra or an upward facing dog. Come back into downward facing dog. Good, set the knees on the earth, uncurl the toes, lengthen that left leg back. Bend the knee, reach it towards your thumbs, and then stack the knees. So bring that top of the foot around and stack your knees. Slide the tops of your feet to the edges of your mat. Walk your hips back, or you can skip that fancy transition and come into this pose. Making sure it looks different from your Lord of the Fishes pose. So Lord of the Fishes pose, the sole of the foot is on your yoga mat, whereas your cow facing legs, the edges of your feet are on the yoga mat. Good. And this time I'll face forward so you can kind of see what it looks like from the front. Okay. Remember, modification is that hip can be floating away from the earth. Good. Extend that left arm long. Flip the palm to face behind you. Bend the elbow. Walk or crawl that back hand up your spine. Inhale, reach the right arm to the sky. Reach it long. Exhale. Bend the elbow. Reach for your fingers. Good. You can continue crawling the hands. You can find that imaginary bind or with clasped hands together. And binding is all about connection. So again, if you're not clasping the hands together, you're pressing and activating the palm and backhand. Finding control and flexibility while holding this really intense, tight pose, but still breathing. Inhale to lengthen the elbows. Exhale to hug in the shoulder blades. Carefully unwind, and we're going to hug that left arm in front of our chest. Good. Set the hands by your side. Shift your weight forward. So you can try, this might be a little bit easier from shifting from cow legs into that tabletop. Sweep that knee in front of you and then extend it long behind you. And you can just set those toes down, find your tabletop, set your knees on the earth for a modified plank. Find your 3 push-ups. Exhale to lower and rise. Beautiful. 2 more times. Last one, lower down to the earth. Inhale. Come up into an open heart pose. Come back to down dog. Good. Coming back into our malasana. So lift the heels, bend the knees. Take a step or a hop. Find your half lift. Heel toe the feet to the outer edges of your mat. Sit the hips down. Find yogi squat. Good. Optional bind. So with this bind, you really want your shoulders to connect at the knees so you can have space to bind. Reach your arms forward. And let's lean to the left. So press that left shoulder against the left knee. Inhale, open up that arm to the sky. Good. Really pressing back and opening. And then you're going to flip that left palm kind of out to the left. And you're going to kind of lean forward just for a moment so you have space to wrap the left arm around the knee. So you're sweeping it behind and bending the elbow, reaching for your left hip. If that feels like a lot of weight, your right hand can be supported on your knee, so you can also push towards your left leg. Or find that full bind. Bend the right elbow and reach for the fingers. If you can't clasp on, you're pressing into your body and finding your bind. Breathe here, 3 to 5 rounds of breath. Beautiful. Release. Come back to center. That was really intense in our yogi squats. Go ahead and lift up and find a fold. If you don't need that break in between, go ahead and start on the other side. When you're ready, come back into Malasana. Walk your hands forward. Try to connect your shoulders as close to your knees as you're able. Lean to the right. Inhale, open up your chest. Just to find space, you can find that little lean forward, flip your palm, bend your right elbow, reach your back hand to your right hip, and then flip the left palm, flip the left palm, bend the left elbow, and then you can clasp hands. And make sure after you've leaned forward, you open up. And find that calm and peaceful breath in your bind. After those 3 to 5 rounds of breath, carefully unwind, lift the hips. Turn the toes in, exhale to fold. Plant the hands and go ahead and step into plank. A nice long extension. This time let's skip our push-ups. Shift forward, exhale to lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Good. Come back into a downward facing dog. Inhale that left heel up to the sky. You're going to sweep it forward to find warrior two. So bring that back heel to the earth. Cartwheel your hands up and over to warrior two. Inhale, reach forward and back, find reverse warrior. Exhale to a side angle. So bring that left forearm onto your thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. From here, you're going to find a side angle onto the earth. So I like to bring my right hand to my hip. If you don't need that, reach it for the sky. Look to the earth and set your left palm on the ground. Good. From here, finding a side angle bind. So make sure the shoulders stay stacked. I know they like to kind of square off and sag. Keep shoulders stacked. Maybe even look to the side. Good. Bend your left elbow, connect your left shoulder and left knee together. And then slide the palm underneath your left leg and flip the palm off the mat. Press your back hand to your hip. Now, this is a lot of weight on your left leg. You can lift the heel and set the knee on the earth and find that lizard bind here. So it kind of turns more into a lizard pose bind, but it's the same, kind of the same format. It's just that knee is facing the front of your mat. Good, then you can just lift that hand from your hip and catch hold in your side ankle bind. So here's what that looks like in that warrior two pose stance. Good. Bend in the knee, open up the chest. And then go ahead and release. Frame that left foot. Step it back, come into plank. Finally extending that leg. Let's find that flow. Remember, if you're tired, come to your knees, come to your cobra. And let's head to the other side. So inhale, right leg up to the sky. Sweep it forward. Bring that back heel to the earth. Cartwheel your hands up and over. Find warrior two. Good. Breathe here. Inhale, reach forward and back, reverse warrior. Exhale to your side angle. Good. Then since we're finding a bind already, you can just bring that left hand to your hip. If you'd rather reach it to the sky, reach it to the sky. And then drop your hand towards the earth. Good. Then align your shoulder with your knee. So bend your right elbow. Connect the shoulder and knee. It's okay if that left shoulder kind of drops a little bit. Just make sure you restack them on top of each other. That shoulder and knee are connected so tight that you can lift your hand away from the earth. Okay? And that gives you space to slide the hand back, flip the palm away from your yoga mat. Bring that back hand to your right hip, and then left hand can just reach and hook onto the fingers. That just feels really intense on your foot. Remember to bring weight to the left leg. That externally rotated leg is just going to give you more space and more support in your bind. But if you just don't like that pose, lift the heel, set the knee down, and find your pose with that back knee on the earth. And remember, if hands aren't touching, you're pressing them into the body to find your bind. Try to calm and steady your breath. Then carefully unwind. Pick up your back heel, frame your right foot. Slide that leg behind you. Find plank pose. Find that last and final flow. And then let's rest in our child's pose. Beautiful work doing those binds. Slowly roll up to a hero position, stacking the hips on top of the heels. Stay here or move to a more comfortable seated position to end our practice. Bring your hands to heart center. Reflect over your practice and think about something positive from your flow and your binds. Keep that positive thought into your heart and maybe just remember it for your next practice when we bring in binds again. Okay, with that being said, take your bow forward as respect to your yoga. Namaste.